Any idea how successful censorship is on TV? Don't know the answer? Successful, isn't it?
Yes, indeed, censorship. I tell you, you can't say anything. Oh, unless it's sanctioned, authorized. Welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel, my friends, fellow Americans. This is not an authorized, sanctioned, allowed to say whatever you want kind of channel. This is where we talk about what we see in reality, not propaganda, not flat out bald ass lies we're supposed to believe. This channel does not accept the game that they want us to play. Right? The game they want us to play is look the other way, believe what we say, we'll show you what you need to know, otherwise STFU. So let's start off the show, folks. No man, so questions into the comment section, please, in all caps. Hello, Yankee Watchdog. Hello, Nikki. Got 2 people in the comment section already. Everyone, comments down below. Now, I want to start off with just what the hell is going on in our country. Does anyone know anything about anything? Well, Tampon Timmy Walls, you know, Twinkle Toes, is in Congress having hearings, or rather he has been requested, summoned, subpoenaed to appear before Congress and explain the fraud. So Nancy Mace gives Tampon Timmy a chance to either save face or humiliate himself by asking the question during the Somali fraud hearing. She asks, "What is a woman?" Well, he, Twinkle Toes Tampon Timmy, doesn't know and said he won't be a prop for Nancy Mace's talking points. So Nancy Mace hits hard back at him and says, if you can't define woman, you certainly can't define fraud. What I want to know is why the hell aren't any arrests happening? Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Politicians can't be held. They cannot be held accountable for their endless fucking crimes. Whether it's simple perjury, fraud, bribery, blackmail, extortion, money laundering, or just plain old fucking theft. No one's held accountable, so they can stand up there or sit, if you will, and lie. Now, Tampon Tim, I don't know why he's not being held accountable for the Minnesota senator who had a gunman dressed as a policeman wearing a rubber mask show up at her front door, impersonating a policeman, and kills them in cold blood. And then when captured says, well, Tim Walls hired me. All right, we got Heidi in the room now too. Questions, comments in the comment section if you're here live. And the way to be live is go to thepreparedmind.club, C-L-U-B, and sign up under the premium section where the guerrilla funding is taking place. Because, oh yeah, there is no free speech. It's all censorship all the time. And we will, well, try and dodge their censorship efforts. We are shadow banned like a motherfucker. But we are growing. We are still growing despite what they're doing. Now, I just basically brought up Tampon Timmy Walls there because he is a lying sack of shit. And, well, you know, if there's one thing Democrats aren't as good at Republicans at doing is lying effectively and pretending to be a rational, reasonable, decent, intelligent, moral human being. Republicans are great at pretending. Democrats are just plain old fucking retarded and blasphemous at the same time. In fact, I have a blasphemous Democrat retard to tell you about. And by the way, they are not going away. So a fruitcake, this would be a Texas fruitcake, says God is non-binary. God is non-binary, says a Democrat. God is neither man nor woman. Then why is he referred to as he? And he also says, our trans community needs abortion care too. Several insane comments from this Democrat from Texas, James Tallarico. And guess what? As retarded as that sounds, he beat Eyelashes Ho, Jasmine Crockett, to win the Texas state Democrat primary. Yeah, this clown wants to be a U.S. senator. Eyelashes Ho, by the way, had her congressional district taken from her, and there's no way in hell she can win because it's been redistricted and it's going to be Republican. There was a big fight over that a few months ago, right? So Eyelashes thinks she's going to be a fucking senator. She can't even beat a retarded, and I mean retarded Democrat who is so stupid he's going to come right out and blaspheme and just piss everyone off by saying God is non-binary, and then expecting us to believe the same thing Tampon Timmy does, that I don't know what a gender is, but if you're a trans, then you need abortion care. These are some stupid, very sick people. If you would, guys, in the comment section, all caps. Additionally, I know we're here live right now, but when you go to YouTube, if and when you do, hit the share button, share the internet address, or hit the share button down below, because we need to reach as many people as we can. The president is having a hell of a time with Iran. Iran is not backing down. Iran isn't going to quit. Iran, according to military experts, like, I don't know, Colonel McGregor, I guess he probably knows what's going on, and many others beside, said Iran is able to manufacture very inexpensively and very quickly, I think hundreds of drones daily, while the United States of America is running out of, well, defense weapons. This is not going to end well. So the president wants everyone to back him. And when they say no, he threatens them. Threatens punishment. He is like a very bad parent, except Trump is not the daddy of any other country. And Spain, despite its own problems, is not going to put up with his shit. Spain, Trump said he's going to land there whenever he wants, and there's nothing Spain can do about it. And Spain said, I don't think so. So Trump says, good, then we're going to halt all trade with you in Spain. And the Spanish president says, I don't care. Now the White House is saying Spain has caved to President Trump because he threatened to ban all trade with the Spanish government. Well, we've got a problem. The White House saying Spain is caving to the Trump-Epstein administration. Spain responded and said, no, you Israel first Epstein administration, right? The spokes liar, and that's what she is now. The spokes liar, not a good move. Spain says, quote, she will be the White House spokesperson, but I am Spain's foreign minister, and I tell her that our position remains the same. That was Foreign Minister Alvarez. I got you there, Heidi. Put you in the queue. Yeah. So as usual, the Epstein administration bullies people, and they don't get their way. They bully some more, and then they lie because, Israel is our greatest ally, and their war requires America to bully and punish anyone that disagrees with them. But the rest of the world has had enough of this shit. The rest of the world does not want to just throw everyone, all of their young men and women, into harm's way like they do in Ukraine. All right. But I want everyone to understand, when the door-to-door Gestapo comes, I think they're going to try it in America at some point, intimidating people door-to-door. They actually tried it down here in Florida a couple of times. Law enforcement showing up at people's houses to caution them about criticizing Israel online. Too bad. This is America. We have a First Amendment that the government has been told you will respect, and you, government, don't have rights. You have authority that we gave you. We have rights. Oh, thank you, Yankee Watchdog. Okay. Yeah. When the door-to-door Gestapo comes, whether, folks, it's a Democrat regime in the White House obeying Israel, and I've had it with them, folks, or whether it's the Republican Israel White House, understand that we are all going to get treated the same. Remember what Trump said, and this is why I remain pissed off. I have not received an apology. I've not heard, well, I had a bad day, and that's why I said this shit. The president doesn't need you anymore. The president doesn't need me anymore. He doesn't give a fuck anymore. He's doing what he wants. In a corporation, when the CEO becomes a fucking insane megalomaniac, they fire him. When the chairman of the board starts acting like a tyrannical jackass, they remove them. In the United States government, we have the president of the company, the U.S. company. He is getting out of control. And we have 3 more years of this shit. Oh, fuck, I got to tell you. What do we want to talk about next? Well, I'll tell you what. Darcy T sent me an email, and it's titled Marine Gets Arm Broken for Protesting Israel's War. And she asks, what the fuck is going on? Well, I'll tell you, Darcy, what the fuck is going on. Well, there was a Senate hearing. There was a government hearing in the Capitol having to do with the war. But if it's not a war, I thought it was just something the president has authority over, some kind of emergency. Well, war requires congressional approval. So the president is acting under some emergency powers. But the government was having an emergency war powers meeting. And a decorated combat veteran, a Marine, showed up in his dress blues and wanted everyone to hear his opinion. So the Capitol Police and Senator Sheehy charged and tackled this Marine veteran at the Senate Armed Services Committee meeting. Oh, Mikey says it could be worse. We could have President Kamala. Yeah, we could have had Kamala Harris. I went over this a few days ago. It was choice of scumbag 1 or scumbag 2 is what it turns out. We were all completely fucking lied to. She would be worse, no doubt. She would still be sold out to Israel, except she would be pushing communism and homosexuality and transgenderism, and the military would be loaded with these fucking freaks, and she'd be throwing more money at illegals, and the fucking border would be wide open, inviting in millions and millions more. No doubts. But full-on evil versus evil light? I don't know. It's evil is fucking evil. So back to the Marine veteran who showed up at the Senate Armed Services Committee and wanted them to know what he had to say. Well, the right-wing media, which is where I got the report for this on, and I saw it all last night. The right-wing media forgot to include in their sensational headline about Senator she. What do we call these? And anyways, and police charging and tackling him as if it's fucking ridiculous. This Marine said military members do not want to die fighting Israel's wars. And apparently, you don't have to be a Democrat to think this way. It's not about being anti-war. It's about being Israel's bitch. It's about our military members being sent for the last 35 fucking years to fight wars that benefit Israel and do the United States of America no good. In fact, I think it was Senator Hawley went on the fucking news and said, Iran has been an imminent threat for the last 40 years with their nuclear program. Imminent means now. It is impossible to have 40 years of being an imminent threat. It's bullshit. Anyways, so the Marine stands at the back of the room, full dress blues, at the Senate Armed Services Committee and says, military members do not want to die for Israel fighting their wars. Well, the police never walked up to him. The police never asked him to leave. The police never said, if you don't leave, we're going to have to arrest you. You're not allowed to interrupt a meeting with your opinion. See, that's how this guy decided he was going to protest. He was just going to shout out for the whole room to hear. He wanted his message in there. Well, the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police, you know them. They're famous for the January 6th protesters getting killed. That's right. They killed January 6th protesters, beat many people, and beat a few people to death. They're also famous for lying in court, perjuring themselves, fucking lying. Well, these Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police, rather than talk to the Marine, violently attacked this combat Marine who was wearing dress blues. They attacked him with no warning, no cautionary statements. They just fucking attacked him. Okay? That was really, really wrong. He wasn't, the headlines are like, he aggressively said some stuff. Oh, he was aggressive in his, speaking up so the whole room could hear him. He didn't threaten anybody, folks. He didn't call anyone names. He just said military members do not want to die fighting Israel's wars. Well, the combat Marine, he was basically attacked and then fucking tackled, literally. And then they started, dragging him out of the room. So he hooked his arm around a door, and it's a weird door system. He had his arm around the door, and then they closed another door on it and caught his arm in these fucking doors. While he was caught and essentially just hung up on this doorway, 3 cops were yanking and pulling on him. And then Israel First Senator, she, or whatever trannies are called. That's literally the guy's name is he. He ran back to the back of the room and fucking attacked the Marine. He plowed into him. He fucking shoved him, and then he yanked him and snapped his ulna and fucking radius. If you listen to the video, you can hear the bones pop. Snapped his ulna and radius bones on his forearm. This Marine, and now I'll tell you his name, is Sergeant McGinnis. And folks, I don't agree with his political position. He's a Green Party candidate. He's a Green Party candidate, which I don't like. But his position is Democrats don't represent Americans in the military, and neither do the Republicans. So he's running as a candidate for the Green Party, whatever. Right? But Sergeant McGinnis, a decorated war veteran, never pushed the police, never assaulted them. He just wanted to be heard that American military men and women do not want to die for the sake of Israel and their expansionist fucking program. So with his arm trapped in the door and snapped in half, folks, he never screamed. He never yelled and cried out about being attacked. And finally, all the fucking cops realized this guy's stuck in the fucking door. So they put his legs on the ground, finally relaxed and backed off a little bit, let the man stand on his own feet. He did not fight them. He did not fight them. But Senator Dick Sucker busted his fucking arm. By Dick Sucker, I mean Sheehy. By the way, Senator Sheehy, Dick Sucker, has just been elected in Montana to be a senator. One of the first things, his first duties, was to fly to Israel. That's right, Senator Dick Sucker Sheehy flew to Israel to kiss their ass and make a little film, make a movie, make a commercial, make an infomercial explaining how Israel comes first, how he is their bitch. That way he could get more money from them. Oh, he's already figured out how to sell out and get government contracts and enrich himself. It's fucking disgusting. These people, folks, fucking disgusting. Well, we've got a lot of shit going on, folks. We really do. Get your questions down below, please. All caps helps me. But this country is going down the tubes and fast. And fast. I need everyone to know that I believe we are officially in World War III. World War III. Okay, we have military action in the Middle East. The conflict is not between Israel and Iran, with the United States kind of there. It's spreading to other nations regionally. The entire Middle East is now engulfed in it, and it's going to spread further, and we'll detail that today and in the future. As a result of this conflict, trade is interrupted, and energy, food, and supply lines are being either interrupted or absolutely terminated and cut. Our stock market today crashed well over 1,000 points. Don't worry, the plunge protection team stepped in and recovered 20% of the over 1,000 points crashing. This is going to get nasty. Gold and silver are also crashing, folks. Isn't that weird? Usually gold and silver could do good in a war, but no. The market needs to come down. Gold and silver are being sold off in the paper market. But the vaults around the world are at their lowest levels. In Asia, in Europe, in America, the vaults are being drained of gold, which is monetary metal, and silver, which is both monetary metal and wartime metal and technology metal and energy metal. They're crashing. It's weird. While major corporations and countries are buying it up as fast as they can. Interestingly, huh? Yeah, they're buying this stuff while the price is being knocked down. Now, with respect, force majeure on a lot of commodities is happening to several nations and several industries and several commodity groups. these claims, I believe, are all in accord with prior government and civilian responses to an initiated major war. And I'm calling this World War III. These things always happen. When a major war breaks out and you can see there's going to be nothing but problem, energy shoots way up. And oil is being held a little bit, but natural gas has gone through the roof already. Gold and silver is being consumed and hoarded, but instead of buying U.S. bonds, treasuries, they're not being bought up. Nobody wants them because the United States government is printing the fuck out of money. In fact, I think the United States government, and it may have been the Senate Armed Services Committee, can't remember what little subcommittee of fucking thieving scumbags in Washington, D.C. wanted this, but they're already asking for another $50 billion to assist Israel in Israel's war. So yeah, the stock market isn't going to like what's going on. They don't like that money's being printed and handed out. It doesn't like it. You can't count on anything, so people are exiting their positions. This is a fucked up mess. World War III. Right? Now, you and I as preppers have done everything exactly correct. Right? Everything we can do. You've got food, you've got water, you've got clothing, you've got shelter, you got medicine, you got a means of self-defense. That's all we can do at this time. It's just going to get fucking weird, folks. It's going to get weird. And folks, the deep state is winning. They control the presidency. They control the Senate. They control the House. They also control the Department of Justice. You bet, deep state for the win. The Department of Justice has thrown out the auto pen case against Joe Biden and Joe Biden's aides. That's right. Tough talking, big mouth Judge Jeanine Pirro has closed the case in the Washington, D.C. U.S. Attorney's Office. You know what they say? You know why they can't prosecute these people? There's no law against using the auto pen without authorization. What? Really? There's no law against it? Really? That's forgery. Or if you want to say it's digital forgery. And those don't count as a fucking crime. You have to have a law that specifically says when Joe Biden becomes senile and fucked up in his head, anyone is authorized to use the auto pen in his name. Where's the law that says that's allowed? There isn't a fucking law that says that. So it's forgery or digital forgery. It's ID fraud. I know. How about this one? How about the crime of impersonating the fucking president by signing documents for him? Nope. Got to let the political class of deep state scum fuck us all over again and again and again. Nice job, Judge Jeanine Pirro. Nice job, Bimbo Bondi. Whores for corruption. What do we got here? Got someone with a fun message. Let's have some fun. I'm going to do this. Hang on to your hats. We're going to switch over to the inner circle. All right, let's start with James Nicholson. He says, I don't know. 99 cents down on silver today. It's right now, it's 0.99%, down 82 cents currently. So yeah. That's a silver crash? No. Silver is extremely volatile. Going up and down $1 a day is not a big deal. What we are looking at, what I'm talking about, is the cumulative attacks on the price of silver and gold over the last couple of weeks, right? Look, gold hit 5,600, 5,600. And what happened? It got shorted to death. Silver was up at $121. Absolutely got fucking crushed by the shorts, all the way back down to $64 at its lowest. You cannot say 121 to 64 is not a crash. It was artificial. It was intentionally done. It was manufactured. And oh yeah, there's a lot of hot money in there, no doubt. But isn't there always hot money in the stock market when something goes berserk? Yeah, of course. So silver went down to 64. This is like 40 or 45 fucking percent. That's a crash. It got all the way back up to 96. Let's see, 96 from 64, 32. It went up another 50 fucking percent, back up from 64 to 96. And then what happened? It got smashed again. Smashed again. That's just interesting. Right? It got smashed again. So let me look at that again. Let's see. Here we are. Yeah, it got knocked all the way back down to 73 again, from 96 to 73. So now we're looking at an approximate 25% stab. Like if I went to your bank account and you had $100,000 and I took out 25,000, would you call that? No, it's not bad. No, it's 25% of your money gone, 25 grand. You wouldn't be happy. And I'm not picking on you, James, but I know this is a topic of great interest. Okay. The reason it's of especially great interest is because silver is not just money. So there's a fucking shortage of silver. Right now, gold and silver are literally being stripped out of the vaults in Shanghai, the LBMA, and the COMEX. It's being stripped out. They're fucking lying about their reserves, which are at the lowest ever, or they've completely eliminated reporting what they have left in the vaults. They don't have the metal. They are going to end up with force majeure. Meaning, look, folks, they got billions of dollars of contracts. Hundreds of ounces of silver have been sold for every 1 ounce of silver that's in the vault that can be delivered when demanded. That's a broken market, right? Meanwhile, they're holding the price down in this crash zone, right? Even if silver went from 120, and folks, it didn't peak at 120, it was fucking going to the moon. Even from 121 down to its current location at $82 an ounce, that's still a fucking crash. That's still a huge crash. That's almost a $40 difference. It's $39. That's a 32% decline in price from its all-time high. And that was just back on January 30th. Oh yeah, January 30th. Closing out the books for the month. Puts and calls coming in. Shorts getting their asses handed to them, fucking crash the market and fuck everyone over. Anyways, James, it's an amazing topic. It's a great topic, but there's a reason. There's a definite reason they're holding the price down. They're holding the price down so governments can just grab all the gold they can, and corporations can grab all the silver they can. Oh, yeah. JP Morgan got rid of all their shorts and went long. They're now hoarding silver. Meanwhile, I believe it's Jane Street is doing the shorting for them. Don't worry, when they crash, when they fuck up, they'll just bail them out. They'll just bail them the fuck out. It's an incredible mess we're in, folks. Okay. You know, and do you trust the government? I don't trust them. They're fucking liars. I'm going to give you an example, then we're going to go on to some of your comments. You know, it's we've been told, right? We've been told everything. We're not going to do the Epstein case anymore because it's a hoax. It's a hoax. But wait, what? The Department of Justice has announced that 47,000 more Epstein files are going to be released sometime this week. I thought it was a fucking hoax. I thought it was a nothing burger. I thought there was nothing to see here. The government has told us they're not going to investigate. The government has told us they're not going to prosecute. The government has told us that nothing's going to happen. So why release 47,000 more? But folks, over the last few days, while we've all been watching Iran and Israel, while we've been watching that, the Department of Justice has deleted over 100,000 files. Oh, by the way, those files were all saved. They were listed online. And trust me, the people went in there and fucking saved them. But it's easy to see how they're deleting files they don't like and putting files in that they want us to know about. It's easy to see how deleting them and selectively blacking them out, redacting, protects the deep state. And maybe, just maybe, they're going to set up a few people for arrest at some point, just to shut us up. Sorry. All billionaires, super powerful scumbags, absolutely, folks, need to be arrested. All these evil pedophile fuckers, all of them need to be arrested. All right, they're going to lie to us, folks. How can you trust them on anything if they'll lie about the most heinous fucking crimes? Heinous crimes. Well, let's go with this one. Heidi says, I just heard that we caught the Ayatollah Jr. Not sure if that's true. I'm not sure if it's true either. You know, I've heard that the Ayatollah Khomeini or whatever the hell he's called was killed. And then his son was killed. That would be Junior. And then I've heard he's got a grandson out there. The Iranians are not stupid. They're not stupid, okay? They've developed their own hypersonic weapons systems. They're getting hypersonic weapons from Russia and China. They've got their own manufacturing facilities for these high-tech weapons. And it's not that I'm rooting for the United States THAAD system and the fucking Patriot missile system to fail, but that is what we've witnessed. We've witnessed $2 and $3 and $4 million rockets being pissed away, and these Iranian missiles dodging them, and then impacting big time. Whether they caught the Ayatollah or the Junior or killed them or whatever, Iran is not going to give up. They are not succumbing. They're not succumbing to getting bombed a few times and just giving up. They're not doing that. A Yankee watchdog asked an interesting question. Is Trump pre-dementia? Well, I guess until you got dementia, we're all pre-dementia. Anyways, he seems to be losing his edge. Ever since getting shot through the ear, he hasn't quite been the same. And I think we've all been suspicious since that. Did they take that shot at him? Or was that staged? Well, you know, the evidence came out that the Secret Service positioned cameramen, the crane lowered the flag down, and they got that iconic picture of Trump standing up and putting his fist up and saying, fight, you know. Nice photo op. Was it staged? I don't know, but it sure looked pretty when they got done with it. But after that, he seemed to have some of the wind taken out of his sails. Well, he doesn't like people demanding the Epstein files. He attacked us. He called us names, says he doesn't need us. He says we're stupid. I'm not going to take that from some fat old orange fuck or any Democrat or any fucking communist or some fucking foreigner. This is our country right here, the United States of America. Government doesn't own me or you or any of us. They think they do, but they don't. Anyways, is Trump pre-dementia? He's not looking good. He ended his last speech contradicting himself, contradicting the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, contradicting the known facts about what's going on with Iran and who is being bombed and who is being hit. Oh, folks, this is getting stupid. I think it's Bahrain. They've had their oil refinery just smashed, absolutely smashed. And of course, Israel jumped up and is blaming Iran. And Iran has not taken credit for it. The places that they hit, that they wanted to take credit for, they have. But Saudi Arabia is getting fucked. Kuwait, Qatar, UAE, these countries are getting hurt. Sometimes it's Iran, and sometimes, I'm guessing, it's Israel. They've actually made, allegedly, or the media has reported that Israel has a Iranian drone clone. They're making clones or lookalikes of the Iranian equipment, the Iranian drone, and they can fly them in there and try and make it look like Iran did it. Nothing is out of the realm of possibility, including Trump having dementia or coming down with something like that, because he's looking defeated. He's looking whipped. Now, to follow up on the drone thing, the headline is this: an indiscriminate Iranian drone attack now targeting the Azerbaijan airport. The Caucasus nation is vowing to retaliate. This is right-wing media, because the right-wing media is cheering on Trump. Well, you would expect them to do that, except this isn't Trump that they're cheering on. They're cheering on Israel at this point. So I don't buy this shit. Indiscriminate Iranian drone attacks? Let me ask you a couple of questions, folks. All we have to do is start asking some questions. I ask, do you have food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, right? But when it comes to studying the world, asking questions continues to work. Why would Iran want to attack Azerbaijan? Azerbaijan is not on the Gulf. Azerbaijan is not an ally of the United States Navy. It is not offering port. Why? How do I know this? Because, folks, Azerbaijan is north of Iran. It is just south of Russia. It's like right next to it's right next to Georgia, the country of Georgia. It's, I believe, on the Caspian Sea, not the Mediterranean, not the Persian Gulf, not the Red Sea, nowhere near the action. Why would Iran want to attack them and drone bomb a fucking airport? Airports have nothing to do with fuel, energy, the Suez Canal, transportation, war. Now, I can tell you why Israel would want it bombed. I can tell you that. Because Azerbaijan is north of Iran, it is just south of Russia, and it's a key artery to get supplies shipped from Russia. So, of course, Israel would like Azerbaijan to be pissed off at Iran, because they're trying to shut down a delivery artery, right? It's more likely that Israel committed this directed attack to foment more violence and try to turn Azerbaijan against Russia and against Iran. A little thinking tends to reveal military strategy, not indiscriminate stupidity, right? An act of indiscriminate stupidity would only hurt Iran by doing this. Do Stuff with Nikki has this to say. Chaos is profitable. Yes, it is. It certainly is profitable. Too busy yelling at people, bots, etc., to realize your house is on fire. Our house is on fire, folks, says Nikki, meaning the United States. I mean, it's not literally on fire, even though, yeah, we have wildfires and other, what do they call those things? Directed energy weapons that cause a lot of fires. Anyways, no, what's on fire is our government. It is burning. The presidency is being burned down. Yes, the Epstein administration. Operation Epstein Fury over there against Iran. It's failing. It looks like shit. The optics are horrible. And right now, our brave men and women, soldiers and Marines, combat units are being, well, they're being geared up. They're packing their shit and they're deploying to the war zone. And they're going to put boots on the ground unless something big changes. It's too profitable for them not to do this, folks. You know who wants this? The military-industrial complex. They're going to make a fucking absolute killing on this. They're going to make an absolute killing. Okay, let's continue. Right, Congress is worthless. The Senate is worthless. They're all on the take. Right? They're taking money from Israel. They're taking money from lobbyists. They're not representing us. People are so outraged, picking a side. You want evil A or evil B? You want the left wing or the right wing of the shitbird in chief? Our courts can't make up their fucking minds. They're so busy lying and letting criminals go, they don't know what to do. And interestingly, yeah, we're not going to get anywhere. There's no way to get out of this fucking trouble we're in. And now we got this news story just happening. Nome, Kristi Noem, is out. Right now, President Trump fires Noem as the Department of Homeland Security chief and has announced a replacement. That was the mainstream or right-wing mainstream media. Says Trump fired her. And somebody says, no, she resigned. Well, if Trump says, look, you got two choices. You can resign or I'll fire you. When someone resigns, it's because they were told, look, you can take the high road or take the low road. So she took the high road and resigned, wrote a nice, glamorizing letter, and the White House kissed her ass really good. I don't know what the fuck, right? I guess she must have said, release the Epstein files, because nobody else says that, right? And they get to keep their big shot jobs. I don't know what she said. I don't know what she did. But, as far as I'm concerned, children are still literally on the menu of the satanic pedophile cannibal rapists. Right? And yeah, C says Noem is out and it should have been Bondi. Well, he's not going to fire Bondi. He's not going to fire Bondi. Heidi, I'm going to need you to redo what you typed. Get that in now because I want your opinion about the Supreme Court. Lynn says Noem is going to be the drug czar. Okay, here we go. Here we go. This is an important one. I want to thank you, Heidi, for this, and thank you also for the great super chat donation you sent. The Supreme Court ruled unanimously that rogue judges have no jurisdiction over Trump. Well, that's good. There you go. That is a good bit of news. Except Trump is doing everything he can to fuck us up. Once again, the border's closed, but he wants to give amnesty to the 25 million fucking illegals in this country. Trump says, make America great again. But Trump's policies are Israel first. Trump says, we're going to get rid, expose the Epstein files and release them. But then Trump says it's a hoax and we're fucking idiots for believing it, even though for years he himself posted that. He posted years ago that the United States shouldn't be getting in all these wars, that we spent $8 trillion and it's wrong. And then he does exactly the opposite of what his masters, who have pulled his choke chain, and he does as he's told. I hope that, Trump starts acting like the America first, make America great again president that he campaigned on. Yankee Watchdog has this interesting statement here. 250 years is only 4 months away for our country, the United States of America. Empires last how long? Well, what I can tell you is the typical life of a fiat currency, that is to say, a currency that is not backed by gold or silver. The United States' fiat currency is now 50 years old. It is overripe. It is overdue. Now, with respect to your question of empires, they can last as little as 100 or 200 years, and they can last as long as 500. The determining factor of how long an empire lasts is how moral are the people. In other words, who is running the government and what is it founded on? Well, the United States of America truly is not an empire. It is a constitutional republic, right? An empire an empire has an emperor. Emperor is essentially a dictator, right? Now, Rome had an emperor and they had a senate. They had a legislative body, but ultimately the emperor made the calls. Okay, the United States of America is acting a lot more like an empire than a constitutional republic, because our bicameral legislative process is absolutely fucking ignoring the Constitution and doing everything they can, only being restricted by the Supreme Court whenever they want to rule in favor of the constitutional republic, like little itty bitty judges making unconstitutional rulings cannot supersede a decision made by the president, right, when he is within the authority and scope of that authority within our constitutional republic. Now, the empire that the United States of America is beginning to act like is because the president is not acting within the scope of his authority in many areas. And the president, and they have had for a very long time, folks, the last 100 years, presidents have enjoyed using national emergencies to enact executive orders and to try and subvert, go around, undermine, and cancel the Constitution. Right? In order to go to war, W-A-R, war is using the military to attack another military or invade another country. That was supposed to be decided by Congress, the House of Representatives. But the president, as an emperor, has decided that using executive power in a national emergency is good enough for him to preemptively do what he wants. And they said we preemptively attacked Iran because we knew they were going to attack Israel. Well, how the fuck did you know that? Well, they're just within a couple of weeks of creating a nuclear atomic weapon. Well, how do you know that? Well, they said they have some enriched uranium. Was it weapons grade enriched uranium? Did they have the bomb? Have they tested the bomb? Do they have it miniaturized and perfected so they can put it in a warhead and launch it? No, they have no proof of anything. No proof of anything. Empires don't last very long when corruption is prevalent. What is the corruption that fucked up Rome? First off, they debased their currency. And we'll just go right to here. Thank you, Nikki. John's going there. Yes, an empire on fiat, fake money, cannot and will not last. Look what brought Rome down. It was like an ancient USA. Yeah, Rome controlled the entire Western world at that time, all around the Mediterranean. But what did Rome do? They exhausted all of their natural resources for heat, fire. They chopped down untold amounts of forests. Well, you need energy. You need energy. So they squandered their energy. They also debased their money. The Roman coin was the denarius, a coin. It started out, almost as pure as silver as they could refine at the time. And then, well, you had coin clippers out there. Does everyone know who the coin clippers are? Anyways, they would take the money back, the silver, after they would have people clip corners off of it. So your 1 ounce coin, say, is now only 7/8 of an ounce, 3/4 of an ounce. So they would collect all the coins, melt them down, add base metal to it. They could add a little bit of copper. They could add a little bit of tin, whatever it was, so that it was no longer 100% silver. Well, they would clip that and destroy it and use it. So by time the Romans got done debasing their currency, it went from being silver to fiat, junk. It was like 90% junk metal when Rome fucking fell. What else did Rome do to collapse their empire? The Senate was fucking corrupt. The bureaucrats in Rome were corrupt. They came up with false charges to arrest the rich people they didn't like, and they stole their money. So the people that had the money that the government wanted, they stole it. Kind of like our government today has given us fiat shit money. Even pennies are not copper. They're fucking zinc with copper plating. And now there's no pennies. We have paper instead of silver, or paper instead of gold. The value of these things has gone up tremendously since they took away our gold and silver as money and just gave us pure paper. Okay? But who is the country? Who is the government continuing to rob and steal from? Well, they don't steal from the rich. No, not anymore. Not this time. In this case, they steal from us, the middle class and the poor. They steal our money and impoverish the nation that way. So there's no money for supporting us, for production. They're doing the exact same things. Not to mention the moral bankruptcy of the Roman Empire. They decided to accept homosexuality. Even some emperors were blatant fucking homosexuals. They threw orgies. Oh, guess what else they did? They were pedophiles and cannibals. Don't worry, they gave food, bread, and circuses. They put on, the fights at the Colosseum. They kept everyone entertained and fed. They had shit for money and zero moral fiber in the country. And that's what caused the Roman Empire to fall. The United States of America, morally bankrupt. Look at our government. The government is morally bankrupt. They're robbing us blind. They've stolen our money and given us paper, and they're just printing the fuck out of the paper while they tax the shit out of our labor. That's right. Our labor, our work is ours. We earned it. We did the work, but the government takes our labor. They take the fake money away from us so we have even less to spend. And then they tell us we're bad for objecting to their pedophilia, their crimes, their sex crimes, their homosexuality. In fact, all of Congress just today, voted down releasing the congressional documentation on how many people have been sexually assaulted, sexually harassed, or just plain old fucking raped by congressmen and women. All of the payouts, they decided they're going to keep secret from us. And they won't release the Epstein files out of the Department of Justice, but they're arresting Americans. If you point out their fraud, you point out their schemes, kind of like Tina Peters is still in prison for pointing out that in Colorado, they fucking cheated in the 2020 elections. She's still in prison. Meanwhile, Tampon Timmy Walls tries having his fucking senators, well, one was killed, assassinated, committing fraud left and right with all these fucking Somalis, billions of dollars stolen. No problem, right? You just come and talk to us. We'll make fun of you for a while. Everyone knows you're a fucking fruitcake, but, it's fine, whatever. Yep, the empire is here. Oh, yeah, Tiberius, Nero, and Caligula were some of the sickest fucks, period. Those were some bad ones. I tell you what, everyone, I recommend, like Lynn says, unplug, relax, have a drink, read your Bible, watch some TV, chill for a while, reset. We are far from being done and over with everything that's happening. In fact, I expect over the next few days and weeks, stock market crash. It's gone down 4%. The stock market, the Dow. Yep, Yankee Watchdog, you're right. Wait for the other shoe to drop. We're going to have a stock market crash. We are going to have a false flag in the United States of America. That could be a series of bombings, power outages. It's coming. They're going to need it to coalesce and make Americans hate Iran, because they're going to bomb us here and then blame Iran. It could be our own government, the CIA and the FBI, or it'll be Israel and Mossad, or a combination of them working together to lie to us, to fool us the same way they did with 9/11, the same way they did with the Oklahoma City bombing, the same way they lied to us about the attack on the USS Liberty. Chance favors the prepared mind is yours.